Hi everyone, it's Chris. I'm here today on Unique in the Creek. I'm a guest designer. I'm going to be demonstrating for you my new modified dress board. It's a Unique in the Creek board that I modified. Today I'm going to be doing a wedding dress for you. All the supplies can be purchased from Unique in the Creek's website. And in the description, I did put the list of the mesh that you can use and some alternatives that she has in her supplies right now, as well as the bling rope that you can use and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my overhead camera. I'm going to go through the board design for you with where all your zip ties are going to go and walk you through it step by step. I think you guys are really going to love this. It also has many other applications that you can use for the new board that I did. You can do little girl dresses, princess dresses. I have some new designs coming out. I've done an apron, flower girl, baptism dresses. So there's going to be a lot of tutorials that'll probably be coming out as I can design them. So let me switch to the overhead camera and let's get started. Gotta switch it over here. All right. So here we go. So this is the new board, everybody. So basically, it's a Unique in the Creek board. It's a modified version. So what I did is I had gotten Lori's boards and trimmed them to what my design entailed. So I'm going to switch to the back here so you can kind of see where our zip ties go. I'm just going to dim the lights there a little bit. Okay. So our setup for this wedding dress, okay, is going to be, I just want to do this just to see if there's, I'm going to just bring up the chat here. Hello, everybody. I see Nancy's on and Diane, Virginia. Let's see. All right. Okay, so here we go. We are going to use, okay, so the nice thing about this is you still have your boards are numbered here, okay? So you have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. So on row 10, we're basically going to be putting zip ties, okay, in every set of holes going all the way across, right? Then when we go up to row 9, we're going to be doing every set of holes except these middle 2 holes here, okay? So you are going to have, I believe it's 11 zip ties here. You're going to have 8 zip ties here. And then on row 8, you're going to have 7. So you're going to have 3 on this side. You're going to skip this set of holes. You're going to put a zip tie in your center, skip a hole, and then you're going to add 3. Okay, so that'll give you 7. So on the next row up here, so this is 10, 9, 8, 7. On row 7, you're going to be putting a zip tie, okay, through the second hole in, and it's going to go to the outside of your board. Okay, so we're not using that little hole that's there. We're going actually to the outside of the board because we're going to be putting in 2 petals in that one. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so nothing in this outer hole. Second hole in to the outside of your board. And then you're going to be putting a zip tie in these 2, skipping, zip tie in the center, skipping, and then your zip tie again. Okay. And then on row 6, you're going to be filling all your holes again with zip ties. Okay. Row 5, you're going to be using these set of holes here, these set of holes. You're skipping your center, and then you'll have 2 zip ties on the outers here. When we go up to row 4, you're going to fill all your holes. So you'll have 3 zip ties. And then on row 3, you're going to fill these left 2, skip the middle, and then these right 2. Okay, so that's basically your zip ties fill your board first. It just makes it really easy. Okay. For the petal folds that we're going to be doing for this, I kind of call it like a mermaid petal. I do wood burn all of these, okay? I'm just going to show you this just for demo purposes using the rotary cutter. But because you want nice clean edges and reducing the frays, you're going to want to definitely wood burn your mesh, okay? So I'm going to be using today, the nice thing about this is if you have a bunch of extra mesh, white mesh or whatever color you want to use, you don't have to use just one type of mesh. So for this one, I'm actually using a snowdrift mesh that I had gotten on Lori's site. Okay. I'm using a faux jute fabric mesh. And then I also have a, it's a wide foil matte white mesh. I put in the listing, if some of that is not in stock at the moment, I put alternatives. And I know Lori was saying that she just got a new mesh in that's really, really pretty. And I just ordered it yesterday, but I haven't gotten it in yet. And it's like a double thin, I believe it's a white with like a little silver thin in it. So that would look really, really pretty for this dress too. So basically the type of petals we're going to use, there's two types. This is the first one. I call it the mermaid petal. You are going to basically be cutting yourself a square. Okay. You're going to take your top point here and you're going to bring it down to the middle. You're going to take your bottom point, bring it to the middle. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to just kind of fold it up one more time. Okay. And then one more time in like this. So this is kind of what you're going to look like. And then basically what we're going to do is we're just going to scrunch the middle and we're just turning it. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to create a little nub and we're going to put an elastic on it. Okay. Just like this. Okay, so it kind of looks like a mermaid tail. Okay, just like that. We're actually going to be making 40 of these. And like I said, what I did is I had some extra mesh. So I have like 14 of my snowball because that's what I had left. I did 11 of this fabric. And then I did another, I think it's 15 of this foil. But just know you need 40 mermaid petals all together. Okay. And I'll show that to you again real quick. So you're going to cut yourself a square. Okay. You're going to do this. Seamed edges are here and here. Bring your point to the middle. Your bottom point to the middle. And you're going to just kind of fold it back up again. So it's connecting in the middle. And you can make this as wide or as narrow as you want. Scrunch it, and then you're basically turning it, creating that little nub. Nub is only about an inch. And then we're going to put our elastic on it. Okay. And it actually looks really pretty if you do use different types of mesh. It just gives it a really cool texture look. Okay. So that is our mermaid petal. The other petal that we're going to do, which is not going to be, you could use the same mesh. I tend to use like a poly burlap for the top part of the dress. But you're going to basically cut your square again. And this is just a little, like a mini Dean Michael petal is what we're doing for this one. So we're going to cut a square. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your top point to the bottom. And then we're going to be taking this right side and folding it over to the left. So it kind of is like the start of our Star Trek petal here. Okay. And then I'm just turning it and I'm scrunching the middle and I'm just doing 2 scrunches on each side. Okay. So it's just like a little mini Dean Michael petal. Okay. Let me turn that down a little bit. There we go. So that's just going to be for the top bodice part and for the waist part. All right. You can also do different type of petals for this. If you wanted to do the feather petal, you could do that as well. Okay, so you could do, you know, different types of petals. The feather petal is like this. So you have your square. You're going to bring your point down to the bottom. Okay, you're going to bring this right side down like this. You're going to bring this side over. Okay, just like that. And then basically you're going to squeeze in the middle and just kind of scrunch. Okay, so this gives you a little feather petal. Okay, and this is going to be for the bodice part, for the top of the dress. So you can play around with different types of petals and, you know, see what you like best. So I tend to use these two types of petals. So it's the Dean Michael or a feather petal is what I tend to use. Okay. All right, so let's get into this. Put that aside. So we have our board. Okay. We're going to take our first petal here, and you could do any type you want. So you'll see when you do your mermaid petals, your seams are here. Okay. We're going to be actually alternating them. So for this first petal, okay, this lower left here, we're going to be making sure our seams are down. Okay. So I'm just going to turn it this way so I can pull my zip ties. All right. So we're just going to place that in that first hole there with the seams facing down. Our next petal, okay, so like I said, I'm just picking different ones here. This is the snowdrift snowball one here. So again, we have these are our seams. This time, these are going to be facing upward, okay? And that's going to go right next to the one that we just did. And you're just going to stick that right in the zip tie and pull it tight here. Okay. And then I'm going to pick another one. So I'm going to pick my matte one here. This time, again, here's our seams. Those are going to be facing down. And then that's going to go right next to that. And these will just kind of all scrunch in together as we go through here. Okay. And I'm just going to do this just so I can see some of the comments and say hello to people. Hi, Brenda. The link to the tutorials, Linda, are all the ones that I do for Lori. They're on her Unique in the Creek YouTube channel. All right, so now I'm going to go back to that fabric mesh that I was using. Okay, so this one was down. So now these are going to be facing up. So we're going to put our seam so it's facing up. And this just kind of helps it to all kind of lay a little bit flatter and easier to get in. Okay. And then we're going to take our next one. I'm just going to do a snowball one here. Seams this time are going down. Okay, so for this first row here, we're just basically starting with them down, and then we're going to go up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of my matte ones, and I'm going to turn these seams so they're going up. And then another fabric with it going down. I'm going to get a snowball one here. Again, my seams are facing upward this time. And we're going to do one of the foil ones here. Seam is going down, facing down. And we're going to do a fabric one here. This is going to be facing up. And then we have one more, and we're going to face it down. So that'll be our first row. Okay. And then you could see by doing that, they kind of all lay nicely. Okay. I'm going to do that so you can see it a little bit better. Like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip all the zip ties. Okay. And then we're going to go on to the next row. Get all these off for you here. And if you have a zip tie gun, these are really good too. And I want to say, I think Lori has these on her site if she still has them on there. Definitely saves your hands. All right. So there's that. All right, so now we're going to go to the next row. So this time, since we started this row 10 with it facing down, we're going to start this row 9 with it facing up. And again, just take any one of your petals and we're going to put the seam up. Okay, just like that. And then our next one is going to be down. And then the next one is going to be up. And you can use any type of mesh you want for this. There's horizontal wide stripe, there's the fabric, there's the foil, the snowdrift. Mix and match it up however you want. Okay. So the next one is going to be facing down. Now with row 9 for this next one here, okay, so this is down and then we're skipping middle. The next one's also going to be facing down, guys, okay? So I'm just going to take another one here. So this is still going to face down. So we're going to have 2 next to each other that are facing down. And that just helps this part to lie a little bit flatter, okay? And now we're going to go back to facing up. And then we're going to face down. And then our last one is going to be up. Okay. Let me do this and face it up. So really what you start with on this side here, your first petal that you put in, whichever way that's facing, you want the opposite side, the end here, to face that same direction. Okay. So we're just going to clip these zip ties. It's actually a really easy design, you guys, to do. It was more so just getting the board and figuring out where all of this had to go. All right, so now we're on row 8. Okay, so this row below, we started with it facing up. So we're going to do this one facing down now. Okay, so it's going to go down. And then we're going to go up. And we're going to go down. And these are great for bridal showers, on the bridal suite doors, you know, on a front door of somebody that just either got engaged or is getting married. And it's a smaller size, so you can actually put it on a wreath stand and put it on like a reception table where you're walking in and greeting people. I also have a tux design that I have done, and I have a shirt board, a modified shirt board that I made for that. So that would complement this really well. You could set them on a table. All right, so off my tangent, let's get back to this. So on row 8, we're in the center here, so we're going to be facing up. And then the next one's going to be down. And then we're going to be going up. And then we're going to be going down again here. Let's do a snowball one here. Okay, so I'm going to clip all these zip ties. All right. So now here's where we're going to be doing the 2 petals in the one set of zip ties. So this is the one that is going to the outer part of the board. Okay. So we're going to take our 2 petals. All right. and these are going to be facing upwards. So basically just kind of take 2 of your petals, kind of put them together, and you're going to stick them right in that zip tie. Okay, just like that. Just do that so you can see it. Okay, so that's going to go right in there. The next one's going to be facing down. So as you can see, once you kind of prep your board and fold all your petals, it goes very quickly to put this together. All right, so we got that. So this one here is going to be facing up. And then our next one's going to be facing down. And then we're going to be putting 2 into this part again. Okay, so we're going to take any 2. And these are going to be facing up again. Okay, so you're just going to take your 2 petals and just kind of put them together. And you're going to stick those right in there. Just like that. All right, so let's take these off here. All right, so we have one more row of our mermaid petals, and then we're actually ready to get into the bodice and the waist part of it here. Okay, so this is kind of what it's looking like. I'll do this for you so you can see it. Let me see if I can just change that a little bit. It's always so hard with the lighting, with the white. Let me see if I can just take, so you can see this part a little bit here. Let's see. At least you can kind of see. All right, that's a little bit better. Okay, so there you go there. All right, now we're going to be on row 6, and this is going to be every set of holes again. So we're going to start with it facing down. Okay, just like that. Our next one's going to be facing up. Now the next 3 in a row are all going to be facing down. Okay, so this one's going to be down and then down. And this just helps it lie flatter in this part here, okay? So you're going to have down, up, and then 3 down in a row. And then we're going to go up. And then this last one's going to be down, okay? Just like that. Okay, so there's the bottom of our dress with all of the mermaid petals, okay? So now we're going to be switching over to our other petals, our Dean Michael petals, and we're going to be doing the waist part now. Okay, so this is what we have thus far. Okay, so in our first hole here, first zip tie, so we're going to be putting these in order so that they kind of lay on top of each other. So the first petal we're actually putting in is the second zip tie from your left here. Okay, and that's going to be one of your Dean Michael petals here. Okay, so that's going to go right in there. And then what you can do is wherever your fold is, all right, you're going to want that in the same direction. Okay, so this one is facing towards our right. So our next one that we put in is going to face to the right too, where that opening is. Okay, so here's another Dean Michael petal. Here's our opening. That's going to face in the same direction. So this one is going to go into that zip tie right next to that one. Okay, and then I just kind of move them just to kind of make sure that they're kind of even. And then you're going to tighten your zip tie. Okay, so just kind of line up your points here. And then we're going to put our 2 outer ones on. Okay, so if you look at that on row 5, we're putting our 2 inner ones, and then we're going to put our 2 outer ones. Okay, and this time you're going to have your fold is going to be facing in again. And now when we put the other one on, our fold, okay, where that opening is going to be facing inward towards the dress. Okay, because that's going to kind of give it its hip, the look of the hip there. Okay, and then I'll turn it back the other way so you can see it. Okay, so that is what the waist part is going to look like. I'll kind of turn it up this way a little bit. All right, so this is kind of your waist part. All right, now what we're going to do is the next one up, we're going to actually start with the outer one here, so the far left one, and we're going to be putting this another Dean Michael petal. Okay, and again, I'm just putting it so that the opening is facing inward. And then I'm going to do this other one on the outside here, and I'm going to face that one inward as well. Okay, and that's just where that opening is with the petal. And again, I just kind of line them up, so if you kind of do it from the side here, just so that your points are in a similar spot. Okay, and then we're going to put our last petal in the middle over top of those 2, and this doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter where it's facing. Okay, so that opening can be either way. And then again, I'm just going to put that right over that. All right, so now we're going to clip that. All right, this is where that bun comes in. We're almost done with the petals, and then we're going to put our bling rope on and all of that stuff. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put our bodice pieces here. So when you do these, okay, these I did as little feather petals here. So we want, we want it to look like a bodice. So you don't want to put them like that. So where your openings are, you're going to have one opening that faces the outer and one opening that faces the inner. Okay, so your openings are going in the same direction, and it just gives it that nice curve for this part. Okay, so that's just going to go right in that top left hole there, and then this one's going to go in that right side. Okay, just like that. And the nice thing about this board too is it has an integrated hanger, so we actually can bling out this hanger, and it kind of makes it look like a necklace or something. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to bling it out. All right, so I have here, this is just some bling rope Lori has on her website, and I have that supply in there as well. And there's a bunch of different colors. So if you're making like bridesmaids dresses and you're using a different color mesh, you can coordinate the bling rope with whatever colors you're going to use. So what I do is I cut a little piece, okay, and it looks like this is it's about 7 inches. So what I'm going to do is underneath where this is here, I'm going to put 2 little zip ties, okay, right under here, just to hold the bling rope in. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of put it just like that and just pull it tight. Okay, and that's going to hide that, so you're not going to see that zip tie underneath there. All right, and then what I'm going to do is the same thing over here in those 2 upper holes. I'm going to add another zip tie, and then I'm going to put the rope there. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up the bling rope on the hanger. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of glue and just hold this in place. You can use glue, double-sided tape, E6000 hot glue, whichever you prefer. So I'm just going to kind of pull this a little tight until I have that lined up. Okay. So if it's a summer wedding, depending on how long it's going to be outside, sometimes the hot glue does melt on stuff. So you may want to use the E6000 or double-sided tape, okay, too. If it's going to be indoors or the winter time, it's not as bad. So what I'm doing is I just put a little bit of hot glue for the demonstration here, just to kind of keep that in place. Okay, so we have, like I said, a little, looks like a little necklace here. And that's going to be our hanger, and the hanger's blinged out, so it's going to look nice. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put, well, we need a nice bling for our waistline here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bling rope. And what I generally do is I start it below where we have our zip ties for our Dean Michael petals. Okay, so I kind of put it, I kind of tuck it down in there. Okay, and then you could put a little bit of glue, you could put a little bit of, like I said, the double-sided tape or the E6000. All right, we just want to kind of hold this in place so that it stays when we go to wrap it around. All right. And then what we're going to be doing is just basically wrapping this around the board here, because we want to cover all of our zip ties for these Dean Michael petals here. So this first set, you want to kind of go on the other side of those zip ties, and you want to kind of pull it nice and snug as you do it. Okay. And then we're just going to keep wrapping this around. Don't worry about the gaps, because as we do this, what you want to do is you want it to line up on the back here. And then we're going to pull it, but you're going to have gaps. But we're going to be going all the way up and then all the way back down. You'll have plenty of bling rope and even some bling rope left over, so don't worry about that. So just kind of put them as close together as you can. And then basically we're just going to keep flipping and turning. It's really, really easy. And you can make this your own. You can do lace. You can add pearls. Really whatever you want to add to this waist part. I just like the bling rope because it looks really, really pretty. Okay, so then once we get and we cover the top zip ties for the bodice part up here, okay, we're basically now going to go back down. All right, so we're just going and we're just heading right back down here. And then we're covering, we want to cover wherever we have gaps is what we're covering as we're going back down. Okay, so you just want to kind of make sure, look at your front part. And you can see we're covering all the gaps as we're coming back around here. And all of our zip ties are covered. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to go one more here. Here we go. All right. So that has everything covered. And I'm going to turn it over. And then what you can do is just add a little bit of glue back here. I'll be able to get this around one more time here. Let's see. Oh, I can. I'm just going to pull it around one more time. And I'm going to do a little glue over here and tuck it in. Or you could, wherever it ends up, if it's in the back, just tuck it into the back with a little bit of glue as well. Okay. All right. So there we have that. And then we're just going to straighten out our bodice part here. Okay. So as you can see, turn this up a little bit. So our hanger's blinged out. We've got this. And then what I did, and you could do a couple things. You could take some of your bling rope, and I just made a couple little loops. Okay. You can put a little bit of glue on the back here, and we can tuck it right down in here. Okay. And then you can just kind of bring it down. and we could just kind of glue this here, and it kind of just gives it a little element. Okay, so you could do that. I'm gonna do this so you could see it. All right, and then you would just put little dabs of glue to hold this down here. Or what you can do is, I also saw these little designs or broches as well. You can add a little bling here like that if you wanted to. Okay, so we could attach that with like a little zip tie. You know, whatever embellishment you want to put on there, you could do either or. I kind of really like that one. Let me see if I can get that one on there. Let me take that off. So we could probably put like a little zip tie. Let me just see. I'm gonna see if I can go underneath where the bling rope is here and go underneath. Let me see if I could do it that way. Let me come up this way. It has a little like a little hook on here. So let me see if I can do that and then pull it tight. And then I'll tuck the zip tie back down underneath and hide it with the rope. Just like that. Well, that would look cute too. So we could do something like that. Okay. And we just kind of hide that and tuck it in there so you can have a little brooch on there. All right. And then you could do a lot of little designs. If you see that you have like a little bit of the board showing in here, what you could always do is take a piece of mesh if you have extra mesh, okay, and you could just kind of fold it into like a little square here. So if we kind of just fold it in like this and down like this, we can just add a little piece, okay, down in there just to kind of hide if you see any of the board, okay, and then you would just do a little zip tie in that, and that would hide if you have a little bit of a gap there. Okay, and that's basically it, guys. It's really easy to do. Okay, have fun with the different types of mesh you can use. Like I said, I listed on there the mesh that Lori has, I believe, in stock right now. I know she has the bling rope, the zip ties. All of that can be purchased from her website. The board design itself is a modified Unique in the Creek board, okay? These are available only on my website, okay? And that I put in the description as well. So they are the same quality. They're Unique in the Creek boards. They're just a modified version that I came up with to fit the design of the dresses that I do, okay? And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please reach out. I have a lot of other ideas in my head, and hopefully Lori will have me come back on, and I would love to be able to do the tuxedo one for you guys. And like I said, you put them together, you could put them on a wreath stand, put them on your reception tables. I think they would look really, really cute. Who's this? Pam, you did one in light blue, but stuck on what to use, the middle, tinsel rope and silver maybe. Yeah, she actually has, Pam, she actually has a blue bling rope on there. It's like a blue and silver. That would look really pretty with light blue as well. And you can make this design, you can use for your bridesmaids dresses. So you can coordinate whatever their dresses are. You could either use a mesh or bling out your waist portion with whatever color. The same when we do the tuxedos, you'll be able to customize for your customers as well, the colors they want to use. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is the new bridal dress that I came up with, as well as a new design for a modified Unique in the Creek board. And I will hopefully see you guys soon, and we'll do the tuxedo hopefully next. And then I have some other ideas for you as well. So as I get those designs up and going, I will hopefully reach out to Lori, and we'll be able to get some more designs for you, some new ideas. All right. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you guys soon.